If you come to 5 Points during the day, the area is thriving with activity. People come here to eat, shop, work, and live. But if you visit at night, that's when things begin to look a little different. Now, city leaders are acknowledging it, and that has some that live nearby beginning to second guess the place they call home.
We want to move out of the area. We've made that decision. My wife and I have made the decision to move out of the area as soon as we can.
Frank Verstoffel lives 4 blocks from 5 Points and says he doesn't feel safe.
There's lots of crime in the area, and there's a spillover effect into the neighborhoods from 5 Points. I think the police ought to start covering the spillover areas into the adjacent areas.
The recent fights in 5 Points and random gunfire have area residents concerned about violence. Mayor Steve Benjamin addressing some of those concerns at a news conference Thursday, promising more protection for the people.
Expect to see more blue barricades, controlling access in and out of surrounding neighborhoods. So those of you who have made the great choice of living downtown, either in King Park, University Hill, Wells Garden, or Shandon, can peaceably enjoy your homes.
During the past 15 months, the City of Columbia has put in place several steps to make 5 Points safer. Juvenile curfew, increased police patrols, a hospitality division, and additional security cameras are all part of the safety initiatives, but some say that's not enough.
It's no longer safe. Property values may be going down. It's a terrible situation.
5 Points is safe, but it can be safer.
Overall crime in 5 Points is down 26% this year compared to 2011. Mayor Benjamin says people will see a significant increase in police presence this weekend, and underage drinking will not be tolerated.
If a business's business model is focused on over-serving underage drinkers, we need to make it crystal clear that we will shut you down.
There ought to be regulations as to the number of bars and stricter regulations as to closure. 2 o'clock is much too late.
And we've got Mayor Steve Benjamin here to shed some light on the community safety concern. Can you talk about some of the concerns? Obviously, we see, an increased police presence, and we will through the weekend. Talk about some of the issues. Some argue that, a lot of the incidents aren't inside the bars, but they're more or less some of the outside crowd and some of the loitering.
Sure. Shane, I'd suggest that the crowd in 5 Points is different than you'd find anywhere else in the city, and certainly I think as well as in the state. You have, large crowds of young people here having a good time. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights on game nights, the crowds can get rather large, 10, 20,000 people. So it's our job just to make sure we're working closely with other law enforcement, working closely with the merchants and other bar owners here, and also calling on the community to make sure we're communicating well and making sure that the streets are safe from violent crime, and making sure that we're all doing everything we can do to make sure that folks don't become victims of crimes. Our focus is going to be violence prevention, and then, of course, making sure that if something does happen, police officers respond quickly. So we're going to spend some time implementing a few new measures this weekend, and certainly in advance of the Georgia game, where we expect the crowds to be significant down here. It's our job to make sure that we preserve 5 Points as a fantastic little village it is. It's a wonderful live, work, play district that people have enjoyed here for decades, and we're going to continue to see that happen and make sure that every citizen of Columbia and everyone we have visiting us here enjoys it.
Now, what about the drinking? We know how you regulate underage drinking, but what about over drinking? How do you regulate that?
Sure. Well, our primary focus is certainly going to be on making sure the streets are safe, making sure we focus on violent crime, and if there's anyone, and I'll tell you, you have some fairly crafty criminals out there, making sure that we focus intently on making sure we either prevent or at least respond quickly to violent crime. That's job number one. And secondly, we do want to make sure that all citizens act responsibly. I mean, whether you're an underage drinker or an overage drinker, it's important that we consume alcohol responsibly so that we don't allow things to basically not be under our control anymore. So we've had some frank conversations with bar owners down here, making sure, of course, if someone is drinking to excess, that they're cut off. We've got police officers down here focusing certainly on DUIs and making sure that the people who've made the wonderful decision, I believe, to live in downtown Columbia in neighborhoods like King Park and University Hill and Shandon and Wells Garden, that they can enjoy a wonderful quality of life and peace in their homes. So we're going to make sure that the main thoroughfares will remain open, but certainly access to residential neighborhoods will be limited. So it's going to be good.
All right. Well, I appreciate you shedding some light on that community concern and keeping the public safe. We appreciate that. And Watchbox will continue to cover the safety in 5 Points. For now, live in Columbia's 5 Points, Cheyenne Malone, Watchbox News.